Linkin Park, one of the greatest band of our century. They have a new lead singer, and basically the whole fan base of Linkin Park, the whole like listening audience, they are divided into two parts. So basically, the main argument is whether is it a proper resurrection of the band, or will the fans, just prefer to stuck in the old times and not to think about like of the resurrection. So is it a resurrection, and will the band succeed with this resurrection, or will the fans prefer to stay in the past?
You really like Linkin Park, yeah?
I do.
So I'm sorry to say the band is done. The band is done. This resurrection will 100% not be successful. The idea that a band formed in 1996 can, after the unfortunate death of an iconic singer whose voice was iconic, who I think for any of us who are even mild music fans, we know Linkin Park. I mean, one of their songs was one of the hits of the Transformers movie. I mean, like, these are some iconic songs. The idea that you're going to replace him 24 years later, is it 24? No, it's 28 years later. So the band was formed in 1996. We're now in 2024. The idea that you're going to replace that band and resurrect that band is nonsense. It's ludicrous. I think there's absolutely no chance that the band has a resurrection. I think what they can succeed in doing is continue to go on tour the same way a lot of famous bands still go on tour despite losing some of their lead singers, key members of the band. But I've gone through a list again of a number of bands who've tried to make this happen.
Okay.
And there have been some that have been successful. So I'm looking at AC/DC, Genesis, Van Halen, Pink Floyd, Journey, Iron Maiden, Fleetwood Mac. These are all bands that lost their lead singer and then went on to still put out new albums. In some cases, top performing albums, things like that, new hit singles. What I found, though, was that none of these bands had a period of time nearly as long as Linkin Park. So Van Halen, for example, lost its lead singer after 11 years as a band, and then succeeded to continue producing music, successful music, etc. Again, big albums, big songs, whatever. But on average, AC/DC was 6 years, Genesis 3 years, Pink Floyd 3 years, Journey 9 years, Iron Maiden 6 years, Fleetwood Mac 7 years. Don't give me that Linkin Park 28 years later after its founding is going to resurrect itself. I'm sorry. I think, unfortunately, for one of your favorite bands, it's over. Listen to the old albums, enjoy the old albums, put them on repeat. I don't think you're getting any new quality music coming from them anytime soon, but you're the fan, so what's your thought on that?
First of all, speaking of quality music, I think we should show the audience, the listeners, some of the new videos over here. So I think we can...
It's good to see you again.
Okay, cool. I completely disagree. And I'm happy to disagree with you, and I'm happy to disagree with you on this particular topic, because as I said, like, I'm very personally attached to this. Basically, with this particular band, with Linkin Park, this was the first band I ever listened like as a proper like music fan. And this is where I can say, like, after I heard Linkin Park's Numb, I can say, like, okay, I started listening to music. So basically, it was very influential, like, personally for me growing up. And it was 2003, I guess, or no, actually it was 2004. So first of all, you mentioned a lot of numbers, a lot of different numbers, and I also have my numbers as well. So the band became like super successful in 2000. Then it was the massive success of Meteor's album 2003. Then it was another successful album, Minutes of Midnight 2006. And then it kind of stopped. And band had to reinvent themselves once again, where they issued another album with completely different style. They pivoted to the electronic music more. They invited the different like DJs. They introduced the electronic sounds. They completely changed their style, and the fans were furious. Like that time, if you read the comments and everything, everybody was screaming that okay, with Meteora 2003, actually the proper Linkin Park stopped. The numbers say otherwise, but if you read if you read the overall mood of the fans, you could see that. So they reinvented themselves not once and actually not twice. Then in 2012 they issued another album, and everybody said, okay, Linkin Park is back. Then again they issued another album with more experiments, again pivoting to a different music genre, and again fans were furious, saying like, okay, Linkin Park went in another direction. Then in 2000, I think it was 2017. Yeah, in 2017, when the lead singer Chester Bennington died, the band went silent. And of course, everything that that left for the fans is to listen to old albums. And if you go to Spotify now, you will see that the most listened tracks, they are from the first albums. So it's, in the end, 2 billion listeners. And then it's Numb from another album, 1.9 billion listeners. And then, to my point, when they introduced that they have a new singer, I think they made a couple of great things about this. The first one, it's the lady, not different style. So they made it intentionally very hard to compare, and they don't want us to compare. And it's great because it's the new direction, it's the new movement. Then they took a lot from the old style, bringing comfort to the fans. And if you look at the numbers, the Emptiness Machine, the number one track from the new album, it was issued 3 weeks ago. 155 million listeners over 3 weeks. I think it's like, it shows that it has a great start. So they made a great choice because they brought the lady who's very technically, like Emily Armstrong. She's very technically capable. She's a very good singer. She can make a lot of things that Chester could make. Like she can scream, she can make the growl, and so on. So she can perform the old songs well, again in a different style, and she can help the band to produce new songs. And she's incomparable to him, and it's a fresh start. So I think they are on the very right track for the resurrection. And then it's very interesting when you look at what fans say. They're actually they're divided into two, and you can find people who say like you said, that there is no way to resurrect the band. There is no way to. There is no use to recover it. There is no use. Let us listen to the old songs. And then you have a huge amount of support for the new singer, saying okay, this is the support Emily button, and people are happy about this. So I think Linkin Park has a very good future ahead.
Vlad, my friend, how old are you?
31.
31. When I was 7 years old in 2001, I had to accept some hard truths. One of those truths was that Santa Claus wasn't real. I found out in 2001. It was very difficult to accept. And I had to find out that my favorite baseball team, the New York Yankees, wouldn't win the World Series every year. I thought they would win the World Series every year. For as long as I've been following baseball, from when I was 5 years old, we won it every year. 2001, I learned those two difficult realities. Santa Claus wasn't real. The New York Yankees don't win every year. Now, you're 31 years old, which is okay. Everybody has different growth curves and things like that. What I would just recommend would be you to accept the difficult truth. Again, for me, it was very traumatizing at age 7 to have to, accept those things. And I'm I'm hoping you'll accept those things as well, because again, never have we seen anything like this, that you're going to get some resurrection 28 years later. You might have a one-hit wonder. You might have one song that does well because people are curious, how is this once chart-topping band going to perform with this new lead singer? But it's dead. It's gone. It's not going to happen. I mean, for your sake, I hope I'm wrong, but the numbers tell me it's not going to happen. So again, I think it would be healthier and better for you to just accept that reality. And, but I don't see it happening. I don't see it.
Interesting. Like, this is really the topic where I don't really care about the numbers of the previous bands of the success. Like, everything that
I know, because you're emotionally invested. This is the problem.
They're very boring. Like, all of the bands you mentioned, they're quite boring. And, actually, like, in this particular topic, I can really speak from the personal experience. And this is what I want to say. The first albums that I mentioned, the Hybrid Theory, Meteor, and Minutes to Midnight, they were great. Then, actually, I couldn't find anything interesting in the albums for, I don't know, almost 10 years. And now I find something interesting again. Like, personally, as a listener. That's why I think, like, even like from just my very personal experience, I don't know. I would love to see what happens, and I would love to see them succeed.
Yeah, again, I mean, I'd love to see the New York Yankees win the World Series every year. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, right? That's my only point. And again, you made another point, which just shows your level of emotional investment, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think it's sort of distorting your capacity to be purely logical here.
More worries.
No. The reason I say that, Pink Floyd is a boring band.
Yes,
Pink Floyd,
yes.
One of the most popular, accomplished bands of all time. AC/DC is a boring band.
No, AC/DC
what are you
is
talking
great.
about? What are you talking about?
AC/DC is great. Okay.
Oh, AC/DC is great. Okay, so fair enough. So you refuse to look at the numbers, which, look, for your sake, as your friend, I'm rooting for you. I want your band to be successful. I don't want your heart to be broken by the reality, which is most likely one of your favorite bands. It's over. But I'm just saying the numbers would suggest and logic would suggest it's been a nice ride. Enjoy the old songs, play them on repeat, memorize the lyrics because you're not going to get anything like it. But time will tell.
Okay, we'll see. I will be happy to see you wrong. I will be definitely happy.
I'd be happy to see me wrong too, but we'll see.